We are now at the south end of Chuckanut Range, along Chuckanut Drive, at the top of Blanchard Mountain, elevation 1,250 feet. It's an absolutely breathtaking view of the Skagit Valley, and some people not only enjoy the view, but they also become part of it.
People started flying off of the Blanchard Mountain in the mid-'80s. Yeah, a lot of flights over many years here. Blanchard is a spectacular place to fly because we get a really nice combination of smooth sea breezes, and the sun strikes the hill well, and particularly in the spring.
But Blanchard is definitely a favorite. We've got a south and a west launch, so we've got a lot of variability in what sort of wind conditions we can fly in. And it's also such a beautiful scenic area. It's one of my favorite places to fly. We also spend a lot of time flying with the bald eagles here. They like to nest in this area, and so having the opportunity to share a thermal with them is unforgettable.
Flight at this level is a very interesting proposition. It's as magical and as gifted as you can possibly be. It's truly like an eagle or any of the soaring birds where in the right conditions you inflate your wing, you take one step, and then you're going upwards, and there's just nothing more magical. Once you've experienced that, you never look at the sky the same way.
So a lot of people look at what we do, and oftentimes people even ask us, are you going to jump? And I always say, well, we prefer not to think of it as jumping. It's a much more controlled experience than that, and certainly not for everybody. A lot of people are pretty uncomfortable up in the air, but for those who ever want to experience what it's like to soar like a bird, this is a good way to do it. It's always exhilarating. You know, launching and landing are the hardest and most hazardous parts of flying, and so most people try and be very thoughtful about it. So if all goes well, you just kind of walk off, and if things don't go well, then it can get exciting. But yeah, in good conditions, you pretty much just take a few steps and you're in the air, and from then on you're free.
When people call us crazy, we generally have to agree with them. It seems a little insane, and we're reminded occasionally that it is as well. So it is definitely, we as we say in the business, the penalty points for a mistake are pretty high.
Yeah, you'll never catch me launching. Nope. Okay, well, the show is called Experience Northwest, and this would be an experience. I was going to fly tandem with my pilot, Dave, from Yakima. He got me all geared up and told me that I was responsible for one thing.
Dave says that I'm the one responsible for running off the cliff. Yeah, right. Oh, he says, whatever you do, don't stop.
Dave checked and double-checked my harness, made sure I could run in it. I would be, after all, the one running off the mountain, remember? He gave me some instructions on what to do when we were flying and assured and reassured me that it was going to be just fine. This was his 700th flight. I didn't doubt him at all. It was me I was worried about. Before I knew it, I was standing mountainside, ready to run. Now, what was Roger's advice again? He made it sound so simple.
A couple steps and a run down the hill, and up into the sky you go.
Oh, 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 woo, woo, oh, oh.
Push back.
It didn't take me long to forget all of my fears and just enjoy the view. Once I looked around, I noticed the other gliders around us, absolutely breathtaking. Dave says you can stay up for hours at a time on a flight before you land.
Tom Wake owns and has been very generous with approximately 20 acres at the foot of Blanchard, and he allows us to land and has for many years on his property, and it's just perfect.
I own this field and I let the guys fly here, and I don't get anything, enjoyment, fun, you know, so I don't gain benefit, you know, from monetarily or anything else, but it's just a fun thing to do, and I enjoy it. They don't bother me, I don't bother them, and so that's been great. So I have a very good relationship with all the flyers.
After flying for about 30 minutes, we headed for the bullseye in Tom's field. Dave gave me some quick landing instructions, which involved dangling my legs out from the harness in midair. I would also have to run, he said. The goal was to simply touch down and keep running all in one full swoop, which is, of course, a lot harder than it sounds.